Yeah. Hi there. Welcome to the Blast Network. I'm Jennifer Glegerich, and I'm here today with Tracy Jo Hopkins and Tracy Becker, my fellow Blast co-creators, and we want to thank you all for joining us today. The Blast Network was founded so that we could reach those of you like us who are living your life on purpose and are reaching out spiritually, emotionally, and even in your business endeavors to live your life in authentic and balanced ways. Who are we? Well, we're ICF Epic Coaches. Tracy Becker is a licensed professional counselor, transformational coach who specializes in advanced energy healing and meditation techniques. She also happens to have the most downloaded meditation apps on Omvana through iTunes and Google Play. Tracy Jo Hopkins is the technotherapist and has made a name for herself by working with such amazing companies like Salesforce.com. She's a coach and mentor for anyone who uses or needs to use technology and social media. And I'm a certified coach and mentor. I own Jennifer Marketing, and I'm a managing partner in 9 Gaming Company. We three are here because we have a burning desire to share our unique and complementary skill sets with you because we're going to change the world. So here we go. If you have a question, type it in and email us, and we'll be happy to answer it live or via email after the show. Today's topic is going to be led by Tracy Becker, and it focuses on freedom, financial, emotional, mental, and spiritual freedom. So Tracy, take it over.
All right. Hey, everybody. I love hearing you say that, Jennifer. Every time you say it, I was like, oh, it feels so good that we're here together doing this work. I mean, for me, that's a freedom in itself, you know, that expansion of being here. I say doing this work, but it's play. I mean, we have a whole lot of fun doing it, right? So,
right.
So I think that that's really important thing to talk about here today is the attitude you have, right, is reflective to the amount of freedom that you experience. So the one thing, I'm going to do this in 3 parts. The first part that I think is essential, I don't think it is, I know it is essential for freedom of any kind, whether it's financial, emotional, mental, or spiritual, is an openness and willingness to change. And a lot of people, and even ourselves, don't have that, because that openness and willingness to change means we got to get busy, right? And there's a what do you want to say, a tendency in this society to blame, and we have a whole judicial system based on that. And so most people, if they're unhappy or uncomfortable, or they're lacking in money, or they're lacking in resources, they're lacking in a job they want, or ability to open up the multiple channels for financial freedoms, or they're burdened with a lot of depression or anxiety, emotions that weigh them down and hold them back, or whether they've got a lot of mental discordant energy going on, a lot of racing mind or negativity in their mind, and spiritually they might, you know, be starving as well. Whatever that is, it's easy to point a finger at something. It's the boss, it's because of this, it's because of that, the wife, the husband, the parents, you know, any number of things that people point the finger at. So the number one thing is really becoming aware of where you have those limits, and of not wanting to accept change, because a new paradigm and shift in your life doesn't really happen without some kind of commitment to that openness to change. The little sensitive part of that is when we talk about change, it automatically, in most of us, creates this defensiveness, because if we're going to change, then that must mean something was wrong with us as we are. And so many of us have already got these belief systems, these core belief systems embedded in our subconscious mind, that we aren't good enough in some way, shape, or form. You know, we don't have enough, we're not good enough, we don't have what it takes, whatever, you know, many, I can't even list all the different negative beliefs that could that could impact that. So some of us just don't even want to look at that, right? We'll just get distracted because that hurts. It hurts us, you know, to think that, well, if I have to change, that means who I am today, there's something wrong with that. And there isn't necessarily. We're talking about a willingness to change because you want that freedom. You want the financial, emotional, spiritual, mental freedom. So I put together this little list, and It talks about the reactions that we may have, and I'm just going to read from the list because it was too many for me to memorize, of the negative reactions that we have. And so either openly or secretly, pick the ones that you use the most, and it's kind of fun because we're going to talk about the opposites of that. So have you ever been known to be disagreeable, to play the victim, to do a lot of explaining why you did something, to become irritated and angry and lash out at somebody else, to act as if you were right despite all the evidence to the contrary, to blame somebody else, to run away from a situation, to think to yourself, boy, this person is crazy, they don't know what they're talking about, to create a diversion by changing the subject or refusing to talk about it, to act out with by breaking things, slamming doors, cursing, to act in condescending ways as if others have no credibility or value, to criticize others or the way things were done either silently or verbally, to shut down all communications, so no communications is possible, or in any other way sabotage clear and effective communications. So let's hear from you guys. What are your favorite things when you get stressed or put on the defensive of bad behavior that doesn't exhibit an open and willingness to change?
Well, for me, it's run away from the situation. I just go, I don't like this. I'm leaving. I'm taking my choice and I'm going to go. Or I try to I crowdsource. Is there anyone else who's going to be willing to, gang up with me on this?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, those are the
get
two.
On your bandwagon and get all your cronies to agree with you, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And the other ones, I kind of don't, but I might act in a condescending way to try to devalue the other person. I mean, that's not a good trait, but I have been known to do that. Those are my traits.
Those are your three main ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I realize mine is all about avoidance. Mine's the explain why you did what you did, even though there's no reason for it. That's more an excuse. So you run away, and then creating a diversion. They're all practicing of avoidance because I don't like confrontation, because I just always want everything to be happy, shiny people. And if something happens, what? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Avoid it. Let's avoid it's not there. Like the peekaboo thing with kids. They're not there. That kind of thing. So, yeah, mine, I realize those are all avoidances, what I plan, what I used to do.
For me, I have a rightness person in me, and I have dealt with that for a lot of years, but I was like, I'm right. And you can ask my husband. He was just like, okay, just go ahead and be right. I know where this is going fast. So, yeah. So anybody else out there that wants to join in and share with us their bad habits or bad patterns that shut down that openness and willingness for change?
Wow. I mean, I think we all have some forms of all these,
Oh,
a little
absolutely.
bit of
They're learned behaviors from family members that we mimic. They're defense mechanisms, like I said, because we got to protect that little soft belly, right? And so we divert or push back in whatever way, shape, or form. So.
Now, also, I'm thinking, for us to help, what's the word? Enable other people that do these kind of things as well.
Yeah,
I've noticed that. I mean, there's some people that I could see these in other people, and I think that if we do that for other people, we're restricting them to having that willingness to change. Then, wouldn't we?
Yes. I call it unconscious commitments, especially if they're loved ones. You have a history with them. Then there's these unconscious commitments, and it's like, okay, if you don't call me out on my bad behavior, I won't call you out on yours, right? That's that kind of silent enabling that we do to not rock the boat. But we're also not improving our status when we do that.
Well, I think denial too. Some people just have their feet so firmly in denial, and I can see times I've done that, and I can see other times other people have done that, and I think that stems when we're dealing with other people who, okay, like we're all coaches, right? So you have clients and they do not want to change, and they'll exhibit all these behaviors, and then it just depends. It goes back to boundaries, and a lot of things like that. If you don't have clear boundaries in your relationships with people, then you can't help them and they can't help you, because there's all this muck that does not allow for clear and effective communication between each other. So I think that kind of, the whole boundaries talk we gave, that affects this so much as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So instead, I have some suggestions for what you could try. And the handout that I'm using for this is on our website. So if anybody wants to link on to that, you're more than welcome. Is it on the homepage, Jennifer?
No, it's at the talk show. When you go to the talk show link, anyone who's viewing it now who clicked on the talk show, it'll be right at the bottom. There will be that, and then the handout that Tracy Joe's going to give. So you just click on that if you have Adobe. If you don't, I have a link to go right to the free Adobe Reader, and you can get it that way.
Okay, great, wonderful. So what if instead you expressed a desire to understand better and say, oh, tell me a little more about that. I'm not quite understanding. Or you could even say, I'm feeling a little defensive about that, but I want to hear you, right? You can ask questions for clarity, just ask a question, tell me more about that. I mean, that's an easy one. Tell me more about that, right? I don't understand. Give me some more information. Express a willingness to change. Just be willing. Just kind of check in with yourself. Do I feel willing to change? Am I open right now? Openly sharing ideas and possible resolution are options for changing. This is my favorite one, because to me that's like activating all the creativity. Okay, we're right here. We're seeing limits. Let's stop seeing limits. Let's see the expansion. What can we possibly do for resolution here? Speak the truth about how you're feeling in a non-threatening way. So that would be I statements. I'm feeling angry, sad, scared, disappointed, whatever that feeling may be. Most people with this one's a really good one to clarify. A lot of people are in a habit of saying, I feel like you're a jerk. I feel like you're being a butt. I feel like you're unreasonable, right? So anytime you hear the I feel with the word like come after it, you're not going to hear a feeling word. You're going to hear a story that isn't an openness to change. So if you do the I feel, the I statements, make sure you got a real feeling word that follows that. One person asked me one time, what if I say as if? I feel as if. I was like, no, that's the same as like, right? So if you're going to talk about the truth about your feelings, you got to talk about feeling words, or you got to use feeling words. Decide to appreciate the opportunity for change. So get excited about this is an opportunity to grow. This is an opportunity to have more expansion. This opportunity to bring in, open more channels for financial freedom, open more channels for emotional freedom, open more channels for mental and spiritual freedom. So really get on that and stop being stuck in the place where you've always been stuck. Really see expanded, kind of take a step back from your place, right? From your personal perspective and stuff.
I want
where that is.
Go in with this. This can be very difficult for people to do this because it's sometimes change, or you have to change is a criticism, and they'll take that you're criticizing me, there's nothing wrong with me, and you have to look at the source. So one good barometer is if you immediately put your wall up on conversations about change. It could be a you thing, or it could be a relationship thing with the other person. Yeah. If you're in a trusting relationship with someone, like, it's different. I go to you, Tracy, and you're in a counseling session. my walls are very much down. You're here to help me. So I'm going to be a lot more receptive. I'm going to have a lot less of those emotions that are negative when you're speaking to me that are going to stop the communication, and I'm going to be more receptive. So one thing to look at when this is happening, or if you think of someone and you immediately become angry, defensive, or whatever, that is a big clue that that's some relationship work that needs to happen. There are trust issues, there are boundaries, there are things happening with that person that you can't trust them. Maybe it's a work or something else. Because in clear, healthy communications, you shouldn't have all those negatives.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And sometimes it's external and sometimes it's internal. But whatever it is, it's work. So I want to put that out there.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, no, I'm glad you did. The next would be open without judgment. And so here we go again. You know, a lot of these are that soft belly stuff, right? Got to protect my belly, you know. It's scary to expose and be vulnerable. We've talked about the vulnerability and the authenticity show. So be open without judgments, or at least say, I'm going to take my judgments and I'm going to set them over here for the time being, right? Just put them aside. And that's about really active listening. Make positive references about good outcomes. The nature of the mind is to go directly to a negative reference, right? We try something new. Oh, remember when I did this? I failed at that, so I'm probably going to fail at this. So you stall yourself out. But if we all were really honest and looked at the history of our life, we wouldn't have gotten here today if we'd failed at everything, right? So we have a lot of positive references and positive experiences where we've succeeded, where we've had good communications, where whatever has happened that was good, you know, even like you had a good workout, or it doesn't matter what it is, we've all done really good things, and really pulling from those positive reference points instead of the negative ones. Take responsibility for your part. Yummy-licious one, right? So I don't remember if we talked about this in any of our prior shows about what are we truly responsible for. I'd say you're responsible for 4 things, and this makes it easy. You're responsible for your thoughts. You're responsible for your actions. You're responsible for your feelings. And you're responsible for the words that you put out in the world. Now, if you have kids, you know, that's going to look a little bit different, right? But as far as taking responsibility in an emotional, mental, spiritual way, that's it, you know. And sometimes, again, that causes a vulnerability too. But if you can't do it with the person that you're interacting with, at least do it with yourself. To say, you know, I was not having the best thoughts about this person. And, you know, just know that. A minister that I used to follow in Oregon, she's really cool. She had a psychology background, so I really resonated with her. She said, some days there are certain people that are not safe walking through my mind. So, we all have a little group of those people, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say that this I just had a whole exercise on this morning with my son. I have an 8-year-old son, and for the last show he was here and he was running in the background. I now have a friend taking him, right? And I said, please today, if you know you can't go with my friend, don't do that. And he stomped around the house. He did some stuff. You've made me mad. And I said, no, you're choosing to be angry. You know, I've explained why did you make that choice? And so we had this long, very drawn out conversation about choosing to do that. And it's something that it's hard, not just for 8-year-olds, it's hard for everyone because you made me mad. It's a very basic thing, and you have to wrap your head around, no, you choose that emotion and that feeling. And that one's a lifelong process of perfecting and learning.
Yes. So next one is getting excited to be co-creative with others. And you know what? I mean, a lot of this we're talking about relationship with self too, you know, especially with all of this freedom. I mean, that's your financial, emotional, mental, and spiritual freedom are all about your relationship with yourself or your relationship with your creator. So co-creating with yourself in different ways, co-creating with your creator in different ways, you know, and then co-creating with others in different ways. So it's really threefold. Creating a plan together for better outcome, and again, whether that's with you or with somebody else, it's having that plan of action. We'll talk about that a little later in the show. Keeping your agreements that you make in this regard, and again, that's with self. I often say to my consumers that the longest relationship you're going to have in your entire life is the one you have with yourself. And how are you doing there? How's that one going? Are you your own best friend? Are you your own best nurturer? Are you your own best, you know, advocate? Are you your own best accountability partner? You know, how's that relationship working for you? Recognize old agreements that haven't brought about positive change and be able to be willing to let those go, because here we're talking about change and being willingness to change. So there's a lot of, you know, no matter how long and how many decades we throw away that statement, you know, if you keep doing the same old thing and expect different results, it is the definition of insanity, right? But yeah, we still keep doing it, right?
Yes, we do.
So really just taking that, you know, accountability for yourself and seeing, you know, it's just one at a time, you know, just it's a simple teeny little changes make really big differences. Express gratitude. Always we talk about that mind of gratitude is and an openness, you know, it allows you to create more openness is the gratitude. And then start newly daily habits that support positive change. So I also, you know, want everybody to note that, you know, it's a learning curve to make those changes. We have so habitually ingrained so much stuff. I was in yoga class today. I was in Shavasana. I was thinking about our show today, and I was like, imagining. I don't like zombie shows at all, but I have a husband, and boys seem to like zombie shows. So sometimes I'm watching a zombie show, and I was thinking, I mean, I don't like them because they're so predictable. You know what those zombies are going to do, right? I mean, they're doing the same thing all the time, right? And so then I had this other image of being on this platform at a train station, right? And it's like, there's your pivotal point at that train station. Are you going to be predictable and go in that same direction that all the other zombies do? Or are you going to say, hey, I'm going to get on this other train today? Right? Jump on a new train. See where it takes you.
Right.
And, you know, and when you mess up, just forgive yourself, you know, and you jump on another train again the next day or a little later that day if you can find some forgiveness and some peace with yourself. So that's the first thing, you know, in any kind of shifting is to own that some change has got to happen.
I think a lot of times the change, you have to shift because change happens if there's a, you know, there's a pain somewhere. There's something that you're unhappy with, and usually it's something painful or it's an uncomfortableness. And so you don't want to be uncomfortable. That's not freedom. That's not happiness and joy. So yeah, that comes from that. That's how we know to make, you know, to change. Something is, we're not liking it. So we want to go forward.
Well, you know, change is constant and it's inevitable. And it's, you know, you can be manning your own ship or you can be down in the hull getting sloshed around. And I'd rather be manning my own ship as in regard to change. So.
Well, I mean, there's also the concept, do you want to be the shepherd or the sheep? I mean, do you want to just follow, or do you want to be the one that's leading? You can be your own shepherd, you know what I mean? You don't need to flock, you know what I mean? You'd be who you are.
Right.
Be the engine that drives you, be the, you know, be the computer geek person that runs your own laptop computer. You know, be what you are. You know, what drives you. Okay, that's awesome.
So I felt like when I wrote this up, that people might be disappointed because they want to get the secrets to especially financial freedom, right? So, and I'm not focusing on that, right? So I was like, oh well, but I am focusing on what really, really, really has to happen for financial freedom, emotional freedom, mental, spiritual freedom. So it's all the same. It's freedom, and it's an expansion. So the second thing that is required to make any of these happen is about making a decision, and that requires clarity. So I think, Jennifer, you had something that you wanted to share with us at this time.
I'm going to share my screen, and I know you just talked about financial, so this is going to come from a very big business standpoint and working with people. I know a lot of people here want financial freedom. And financial freedom means different things to different people, but you all have to start at the same place. You have to start the emotional and spiritual place and be grounded. Anyone I have ever met who had true freedom, where they would say, I have this freedom, whether it's, online marketing businesses, and they talk about the .com lifestyle, or people who just feel free, they always start personal. Something happens and then they shift their perspective. And in a business standpoint, you can do that even if you're a small business or whatever. So I'm going to share my screen now, and let me know if this is going to happen. Okay, are y'all there with me?
Yep.
Okay, so this is my little freedom little mind map. And if you want to be truly free, let's say you own a business or something has happened, the first thing you need to do is all the fun stuff. And you need to define what your passion is. What is your real passion at your business? When I speak to, I'm going to do it from a business standpoint because that's where I come from. So you have to go back to basics. If you are feeling a pain, or you are feeling someplace you're uncomfortable, or you're unhappy in any way, and you know that change has to occur, then you need to go back to, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I in this business? Why did I pick this career? Why am I working at this company? And then you go back to the basics and define your passion. And then you go back to the vision. Every small business owner starts out like this. What's my vision for what I want to do? Well, I have a passion for art. My vision is, I became a graphic artist because of that. Now I need a laser focus. How am I going to put that in the workplace? Let's just say that. And that is where you come up with, okay, well, first, what's the highest, best use and purpose of my time? A lot of people really don't do this. They get so bogged down in the minutia and the details of, buying widgets, setting up their bookkeeping system. And this is all very important, of course. How I'm going to advertise, where am I going to put my office desk chair, that they forget to go back to almost their business plan. And business owners, or whatever you're doing in your life, in order to make money, if we're talking about financial freedom, what is the highest, best use and purpose of your time? And I like to talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he needs to make copies. He needs emails that are sent. He's got to collate papers. But does he do that? No. What does he do? He focuses on what makes the most money, and that is whatever his talent is. His talent is, hooking up with people and making mergers, or even the vision of seeing what building to buy. And he spends all of his day doing those things. And then, I'm going to move over here, he delegates it. I'll move this bigger so we can see it. Then he thinks about delegation. So once you figure your highest, best use of purpose in your time, the thing you do that's going to make the most money, it's probably not going to be spending 3 hours checking your email or being on Twitter. So things like that. Take your highest, best use, and then you're going to focus it down, and then you have to delegate it. Now, how can you delegate it? You can either delegate it through technology. There are tons of automated programs that you can use for your computer that can sort through your emails. do auto posts for your social media, your blogs, because that's really how people are advertising now, mostly is through networking. The world's changing. And then how you're going to do your human resources. Are you going to do it through paid or unpaid people? Now, obviously, this map, I have it, expanded out 1 billion different ways down to what bookkeeping program you're going to use. But you need to start out with something like this when you talk about freedom. This is my freedom. Always start with your passion. Go through with your vision. Oh, this is, for some reason I moved something. Get your vision, and then you're going to focus that vision. Nope. I don't know why I didn't focus it, and it made it weird, but then you're going to go to your highest, best use and purpose. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen over here. Did y'all all get that?
Yeah, that was great. That was
awesome.
Okay. Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, so that starts out with making a decision and having a vision on how to do that. And that's just a real basic way people can take a pen and paper, and it can be anything. It can be with your relationships.
Right.
Your anything. What is your real passion?
Right.
Why are you unhappy right now? Focus it and define it, and then go back. Instead of highest best use for your relationship, what do you really want your marriage to look like? What do you really want your relationship with your kids to look like? What do you want your best day? I know we all three of us did that thing where we had to sit down and we go, the best day of my life would look like this. And then we had to write in what job we would have. We had to be realistic. The best, most realistic day of our life would be this, for what you really want to do. Some people will be, I'm going to have enough money in an automated system that I'm going to wake up on the beach and I'm just going to be on the beach all day. And maybe that's it. And then you kind of like reverse engineer from there.
Yeah.
But most people it isn't. Most people, I wake up refreshed. I have time to meditate. Then I have time to go to the gym. My kids get ready on time, and I get a little bit of quality time. We don't yell at them. They're on school at time, and then I go to work or whatever that is. And you write out your best day, and then you pick out, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on. And it's a lot easier than you think to do that. So.
But how many people really give that? They don't do that. They don't give it that much thought. They just get caught up into what comes at them. And then also one of the things that I wanted to talk about in relationship to that is don't get caught up in the hows. We can get so caught up in the hows, and that stops our dream and stops our passion and stops our vision. And I know that stopped me so many times with my big vision, because then I'm like, I have a big vision, and then it's like, but how? I didn't have the team, I didn't have the person to delegate, and I didn't have all the systems there. And I still work on that with my business. So the thing, when you hit the hows, you can block your manifestation like crazy. So do your very best when you get in that how place to bring yourself back. Because what happens is, before we get to the hows, we're in a more general place, and that general place we can get really excited about. We have the vision, and it feels so exciting, and I'm like imagining these best day ever, and da 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 da. And then you go, but how? And then you can almost see people just deflate. Their energy just gets sucked. So you do your best, because the hows just aren't our business. The hows are not our business. You can go ahead and play around with the who you want to be involved with you, and let that be exciting. What you want to do, right? And why you want to do it. Why is a really good one, because like you want to be of service. You want to raise happy kids. You want to be peaceful and calm. You want to make a positive contribution in this way and that way and the other way. The why we do things is a really exciting thing to focus on. But I promise you, if you get stuck in the house, you're very unlikely to manifest the way you want to.
And what I do with the hows, because I learned this a little while back. When the hows get to me, I'm like, well, how am I gonna do it? I just like, you know what? I release that. I release it. You know what? How is gonna work out? How it's gonna work out? Yeah, I just got to be open to it. And I just say, you know what? I'm tired of just worrying about the how. The how it's just gonna do. And then I used to say, and I don't care what the who, what, when, where, and why, but that's for the blame. That's for the past. I don't care about the who, what, when, where from behind me, but if I'm visualizing, then the who, what, where, and why, in my future is always that positive part. Who's going to be in my life? Why is this important to me? Where I want to go? You know, what do I see myself? Those are important. The who, what, where, whys are very, very important for the future, but they're not very good at the past at all. You just don't even think about the who, what, where, why in the past.
Right.
Wash clean of it, and the house will take care of itself.
And I want to add too that when people think about business and finances, they get so caught up in being perfectionists. Like, they're starting a business. Everything has to be perfect before we can launch this. Everything has to be perfect before I can open up the front doors. Everything must be perfect. I have to have all this money now. I have to have this plan now. I have to have, this. And that stifles all their growth. And I just was at a home business summit where the best quote I think I've ever heard: successful entrepreneurs build their planes as they're flying them. They don't wait. And I thought about that.
That's awesome.
I thought, that's brilliant. That is completely brilliant, because it's the people who succeed are the people who go flying by the seat of their pants. They don't have it in place. They know they have this idea, and they just go out there and they stumble and they fall and they fail and they get back up. Okay, I learned something there, and they go forward. The people who don't are the perfect preparers. The people who are so stuck in the, I don't have this all right now. It's kind of like the having kids. We're not ready. You'll never be ready. You'll never be ready. You can have all the money in the world. You can have the best everything. You're never going to be ready for that. You're never going to be ready for success. So just go. Get that vision, get that energy in the plan, and go forward and learn as you go. That is the way to be successful. I just love that.
Yeah, that's an awesome quote. I'm writing it down. I love it too.
I think it's going in your newsletter, maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like a good one, doesn't it? So anyway, general, if you get stuck, and all this negativity comes in, then you got to pull back and go general again, and move forward from a place of feel good, because the feeling is very, very important when you're manifesting anything, this freedom. So hold that vision of whatever venue or avenue that you want your freedom to go in, or if you want freedom in all of these areas, then you hold that vision, you get that passion, hold that vision like Jennifer's mind map said, and just hang out there for a while. Hanging out right there in the passion and vision is so much better than not being there, right? And then as the momentum starts going in that direction, as it comes clearer, because you got to make this decision, you have to make the decision. When you make the decision, then this clarity starts coming. When the clarity starts coming, start the momentum and move forward to that. What are we going to add next? What's next? What's next? What's next? And then each step you get a little bit clearer and a little bit clearer. And that's why those people are flying the plane and building at the same time. They're like up there, we're like, oh, well, I guess we might need some wheels to land, or guess we might need some navigation systems, or guess we might need something, right? I don't know what you need to fly a plane.
I don't know, but they're up there, we're flying.
Right, yeah. So, yeah. So pay attention to where your attention goes. That's the main thing there. Make a decision, clarity will come. Make a next decision. It's like that proverbial thing, when you're sitting on the fence, you're just going to be sitting on the fence. And the universe will bring you experiences of both sides of the fence at that time. You will have experiences of lack and limitation. You will have experiences of passion and vision. Probably more of the lack and limitation, because that's what you're more used to, and you got a lot of momentum going in that direction. So, but, it's about get off the fence. It doesn't matter which direction. Make a decision, then the clarity comes. So.
That's awesome.
All righty. Step 3. Step 3. Final step in acquiring any or all of these things is commitment. Attention and commitment, and it's all powered by the action. So it's got the put your money where your mouth is thing. So walk your talk. And Tracy Joe, you've got a great exercise to offer for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. And I created this about a year ago. I did learn that when you take action, that kind of thing, and it's the same thing as your thoughts and the same thing as beliefs, that they're habits. And the best way to change a habit is you have to do something constantly to keep a habit. And they say the best thing to do that is to do what you need to do or have that thought at least 21 days to 31 days in a row. So that's when you can start building a new habit. So I had created this. I have different versions of it, but this is actually called Journey to Financial Abundance. And I'm going to share my screen as well. So let me show you, and then I'll talk about it and just more about it and start. Okay, so let me know if you can see this.
Yes.
Okay, I had created different versions of this, and it's a PDF, so I highly recommend if you want to print it out, you can print it out. If you want to write it in electronically, you can do that. I also have instructions. I'm going to pass by really fast how to do it. It's 31 days because there's actually some days have 28 days, some days have 31 days. So I made this that you can keep printing this out for whatever month you have. So you can keep doing this over and over again, or you can start over. So what this is going to do is get you into that mindset of feeling good, because, you know, as Tracy said, you need to be in that general area. You can't be in that negative area to get something, to attract something or get something done. So what I had done is I started with each day with a nice quote, something inspirational. Now, mind you, this is financial abundance, and I think another reason why we're choosing examples with financial abundance is because people can grasp it in their mind. Because somebody's spirituality is different from other spiritualities, but I think financial abundance, whatever the topic is, everybody knows about money. So I think this is why it's helpful we start with the financial abundance. But you can do this in any means, you know, spiritual, that kind of thing. But I have a quote here that has something to do with financial abundance, and it's on every single day. It's the same thing. And then I want you to write down your successes for the day, even if it is the most littlest thing, whether I made someone smile. What this will do, the more you do it every single day, it'll bring you more opportunities to have more successes, if that makes sense. Or to notice the wonderful things that you do every day anyways, and the things that make you feel good. So I want you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That was that positive reference points instead of the negatives. Yeah.
Right, definitely. Pulling in the positive. We want to focus on what's positive. So let's get you in that feeling of, hey, this is my successes for today. This is what made me feel good. And then the next page, I'm going to have, I am grateful for. You're going to put 5 things you're grateful for that day. Here's the trick. You can't repeat it in the month. What this does for you is, let's just say I'm grateful for my children. You can't put that again. So let's say, now let's get a little bit more specific. I'm grateful for the smile on my daughter's face. Or I'm grateful that my daughter, you know, or I'm grateful for having this opportunity to do homework with my daughter. You know, I mean, it makes you get a little bit more specific in being grateful. So you do 5 a day of what you're grateful for. And this being grateful also puts you in that high vibration as well to attract what you want. Okay? Now here's the little game. The number 4 is, what would you spend $100 on a day? Now, throughout the whole month, it goes up to 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, and you have a lot of fun. You write down exactly what you want. What are you going to spend that $100 on? This is the first day one. Now, what this does is you're going to actually feel good and have fun spending money. Your brain, your subconscious, does not know you're not spending real money. Now, with the law of attraction, the more you feel you're having fun and you're spending this money without any worry of any checks bouncing or not having it in the bank, your subconscious is like, oh, we're having fun. Well, let's get them more money so they can spend it more money and have the fun and joyful playfulness there. And that's the whole concept. If you can get like the big picture, because it gets me excited when I do this. When you get to spend money,
yeah.
And then you do that visualization, the visualization and daydream right after you're doing this. The reason why is because I want you to take at least 10 minutes to do this whole thing, whether you do it in the morning and then just do the successes at night, or somehow just do a whole thing, because the more minutes you stay focused on the joyfulness and having fun, the more you're going to attract the things that bring you the fun. And that's pretty much what it is. And I'm going to give you one example. I had a wonderful woman. She's going in for her master's she's going to be a doctor one day, and she did this journaling, and she decided to do a whole theme. She wants a new house. So each day, so day one, she spent some, she said, okay, she building the house on, because it's 500. She spent money on one room, the paint for the one room, and then the next day was got bigger and bigger. She started furnishing the house. She hired a maid. The house was her dream house. So the whole thing, so she did it. The theme of the whole thing was, what she was going to build in this house. And she did that each month. So what had actually happened, like not very much longer later, is she had opportunities to build that house, which was like awesome.
Right.
So, she's like, I can't believe this work. I need to keep doing it again, because for some reason, she stopped doing this work, getting into the fun of it, and then just went to school. And then she's like, I had this opportunity, and then just kind of, when things got busy, my focus went off of it, and the opportunity wasn't there anymore. So that's why you got to kind of be, stay with it all the time. Journaling is really, really healthy. Anyways, it is kind of a type of meditation. But I do have this on the website for everybody to download free. This is my 31-day. I have a 90 days somewhere and a 45-day, but I'm giving everybody a 31-day that they can take with them. Let me go back to sorry about this.
Woo! Everybody gets a gift. I love gifts. It's like we're,
Right.
Talk shows. Everybody gets a gift. Yeah.
Right.
Look at that.
Definitely, I have to tell you, I had fun making that, and I have fun, and I really did the one that says "Journey to the Better You" or Better Health, because it made me feel really good. I had a confidence one in there, and it just really, really helps you, and it does work on all aspects of journaling in this way does help you. So even if you're not doing the spending money thing, just doing the first three, finding a quote, being in that nice, good feeling moment, and then putting in what you're grateful for and your successes will start you off on where you want to be.
Yay.
I absolutely believe that. This is awesome. I love it, and I'm going to use it. I'm so glad I get to go too.
Right.
Yay! Thank you.
Okay.
And the one word I heard you saying over again, Tracy Jo, was focus. And it's like when I look at the handout I typed out, there's a big bold word, focused, right? And that's really about that commitment, is that you have to be fully committed to this, and you have to be unwavering and unwilling to not go in that direction. There just has to be such a deep desire that you move in that direction, and that's that focused direction. I wanted to share with you, my husband and I are doing something similar to that. And we even have this little private Facebook page, and we give ourselves a lot of money every day. We committed to a year, and the first day we started out with 1,000, second day 2,000. That's for each of us. And some days we would spend it on ourselves, and then some days we combine our money. And it is so much fun. Like yesterday, we bought an eco lodge on the coast of Mozambique in Africa. So it's so cool. It's just like so cool. Like every morning we get to talk about how we're going to spend this tens and thousands of dollars, and you have to spend it all in that day. And we've become real estate moguls because we love to travel. So we're just like, okay, let's buy this here and buy this there and buy this there. And so it just starts the day out with such expansion. I mean, in the beginning it was just like it was a little bit hard. What are we going to spend all this money on? We've never thought about that to such an extent. But I tell you, you get really accustomed to it. And what happens is you open up all these channels. When I talk about change, I'm really in that zombie lifestyle. Really think about, we're so accustomed to job equals money, job equals money, job equals money, job equals money. And we don't ever think about opening up multiple channels to financial freedom, and that there are these multiple channels to financial freedom, and financial freedom is our birthright, and abundance is a state of expectancy, and all of those things. So these exercises are useful, so incredibly useful for that. So,
and I want to say that there are a lot of people, who I've worked with, and they are so stuck in, okay, let's get real. I have a budget and I have a time, and they're just like, this is like ridiculous, and I have to, and then you get back to it, but is it fun? It only takes 5 minutes. Can you just do it for 5 minutes, you know,
Right.
and it is amazing the change that starts to happen in these people. Like, for example, I went through a bad time. You know, I was on unemployment. I was looking for a job. Every day I had to make a lot of actions. I wasn't sitting here going, just hand me a job out of the sky. You know, I made all these actions. You know, I logged on. I sent out applications. I did ridiculous tests. You know, we need a bookkeeper part-time, but you need to take this test, and it's for a CPA. I mean, everyone who's been out there are people who are like, oh my gosh, I know that. I'm going through that right now. I've been to 10 different agencies, and they're making me take these tests that someone would need a master's degree to pass. And you just start getting down. This is why you need to do this, because life is rough, and you need to get that energy up, and then you realize that all those little problems, they start not being bug you as much. You start doing a lot better with everything. You get ease, and things manifest, and opportunities come to you, and it just seems like everything gets a whole lot easier. And so my thing is, if you're stuck right now and you're listening to this and you're worried about your lights being turned off, or you're just got something serious, you especially need to start out with something like this, because once you start this tiny little thing for yourself, it's a very personal little thing. Just be a little selfish for 5 to 10 minutes in the morning and do this, and things are going to change. You are going to see it. I'm a firm believer. That job, that opportunity will just seem to come out of the sky.
Or you're going to create your own.
Well, what you just reminded me of is the story, what the author of Harry Potter, right? She was like, you know, she was really impoverished at the time, where she just started doing her passion. She had a vision. She did her passion. She didn't get stuck up in the house for some reason. She just was not stuck up in the house. And then also, you know, it's unfortunate, I believe, that sometimes we have to get into the direst of pains and the direst of situations before we make the changes. So if you're not in the direst of pain and you're not in the direst of situations, you can still make the changes and do that too. So
absolutely.
You know, the world is much more better, right? Not even a good English. I often ask people, would you rather run into yourself out on the street unfulfilled and grumpy and disappointed and blaming and hopeless, or would you rather run into yourself joyful with a little bounce in your step and on top of the world? You can make that difference. You know, we would all, one more happy person on the planet is one more happy person on the planet, and I'm saying bring it on.
Definitely. And you know what, I made that journal because I'm not, if someone told me, or actually it's an activity book, someone told me, you need to meditate. Well, you do need to meditate, but at the time I don't know anything about it. I didn't know how to do it. They tell you, oh, write in a journal, like an appreciation journal. Well, or write in a journal period. I just really have a hard time focusing on writing a journal. What do I write? What am I going to do? So I kind of eventually, I've made this so I could be, it's like my lazy way of making a journal. Making my own journal.
It's a focused way. You did it.
It is a focus.
Yeah. It is great. I love it.
And so that way I said, you know what? I like things spelled out for me, because I want to focus on the things that make it good. And I said, because I have a hard time when someone tells me just do this. Well, I can think lots of ways of how to do this, but now I focused it on this, this, and this, and this. And it just makes life so much easier. You can follow it, and then now you can have fun. Because when you start to worry about the house, it's not fun. But now here it's done for you, so you don't have to worry about the house. Just have fun.
Right. So number one thing, change, and be open and willing to change, and own your little idiosyncrasies that have kept you protected and from changing the best way that you can possibly change. So just own them, forgive yourself, forget about it, right, and just move on. The thing is, like you said, the past doesn't matter. You know, move on. You know, move on. Every breath is a new opportunity. The second one is the decisions. Decisions bring clarity, right? Cannot manifest any of this without some clear vision of direction you're going, clear vision of what you want to be. You know, don't be a fence sitter, you know, and don't be on that side of the fence that's limited and full of lack, you know. And then the the third part of this is that commitment and intention, and to put some action. And you know, some of this action is just mental. All I have to do is sit and think about it, right? All I have to do is sit at the kitchen table with my husband every morning and think about how I'm going to spend $80,000 today. Darn, that's really tough.
Right. Good.
Right.
So,
Right, exactly.
yeah. So, you know, everything, I think one thing people forget is it's all about our relationships. Our whole economic system is based on relationships, and you can prove that to yourself by just asking, if all the people on the planet were removed from the planet, would I still be able to do what I do for a living? No. Right?
Right.
So we're
Yeah.
all in service. We're all in some kind of service, and we're all reliant on relationships. And again, that relationship yourself. So again, if everybody were removed from the planet and it was just you, how happy and content would you be with just you? Right? Could you entertain yourself? Would you be happy in your own company? Good question for many people. So it's all about relationship and the quality of relationships with yourself, with the other people in the world, and with your maker, creator, or whatever that higher force and power is for you. So
That is awesome. Well, it looks like we have just a few more minutes left. I do have a couple announcements, unless somebody has anything to say before I do my announcements.
No, but I'll probably add an announcement before you're done. But yeah, go ahead. Or do you want me to give my announcement now?
You can give your announcement now.
Okay, I just wanted to say everybody needs to keep on staying tuned to the blast. We have a lot of incredible things that are going to be happening in the next 6 months. I know I'm working on a huge project now to launch out a way for people to become financially independent from their homes. I'm also going to be working on some group and mastermind programs with Tracy Becker and Tracy Joe. This is just a teaser. This is going to be happening. It's going to be a very big, juicy, incredible, wonderful deal. So I want y'all to keep on watching and get on the email list. We do not spam you. We will keep you up with the reminders and let you know what's going on. So that was my little announcement.
Woohoo! Awesome. We, from all of us, we really thank everybody for joining us, whether live or during our the recording of it. We do want to let you know that August 9th at 2 p.m. is our next show, and that one is about change and how to anticipate it, roll with it, embrace it, and even dictate it. Okay, so that is our next topic, how exciting that's going to be. I know we touched on it a little bit today, but we wanted to get you, the mindsets, but we're going to really go in a little bit further next month about actually changing and anticipating it, and how you feel like if you really need to have the change and how you can let it get going. But today is more about freedom and that sort of thing. Okay, so if you want to get onto our reminder, you can go to theblastnetwork.com, and at the top there's a little star there. You click on that and it goes right into our database, and we'll send you a reminder of our next show. Let's see, if you want to contact all of us, you can go to info@theblastnetwork.com. If you want to contact Tracy Becker, it's Tracy Becker@theblastnetwork.com. If you want to get a hold of Jennifer, it's Jennifer@theblastnetwork.com, and mine's Tracy Joe @theblastnetwork.com.
Actually, it's Tracy. For Tracy Becker, it's just Tracy.
Oh, it's just Tracy? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to confuse anybody because there's two Tracys here. I'm Tracy Joe, and there's Tracy Becker, so hers is just Tracy@theblastnetwork.com. I wrote it down wrong. And I'm Tracy Joe @theblastnetwork.com. And please stay tuned because we are going to have some really neat things coming up. And I think also, not just with all three of us, I think we're all individually, like me, I'm going to start putting up some little techie advice thing. I know Jen's got some business things that she's going to put out, and Tracy's got some awesome stuff, by the way.
yeah, we got some cool stuff coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely cool stuff.
Lots of changes, but fun.
And you know what? If you want to keep tabs of Tracy Becker, because like she says, she's a #1 on Omvana for the meditation. So you can go to tracybecker.com and see what's new over there. It's, lots of wonderful new stuff's going on there. And let's see, is there anything else I am missing? I don't think so. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's listening to us. We really appreciate it, and we really want to hear from you.
Yes.
So please send us an email. A general email is the info@theblastnetwork.com. We are on Facebook. We do have a Twitter account. Just look at the Blast Network. You'll find us. We're there. We also have the links of it to our from our website. So please let us know what's going on. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions or questions, please send it to us, okay?
Yeah, and if you have a topic that you want to talk about, or if you have a specific question, if it's a technology question for Tracy Joe, a career question for me, or a spiritual transformational question that you would like Tracy Becker to answer, we pick questions and we might talk about it on air and give you some props. We might even call you. You might even be a special guest. We love doing stuff like that. So just let us know. Contact us.
Thank you. And
bye, everyone.
I hate saying bye, but there you go. Bye. See you later.
Hello. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.